So we recommend and deploy.
Recording is on.
We recommend and deploy the right work from anywhere solutions for businesses to try and help you get that richer experience for customers and colleagues. Just a little bit of background on EveryCloud. The key themes we have are around protecting and connecting businesses. So from a protect perspective, it's all about, how do we do that through best of breed cloud security, phishing, identity and access management solutions, for example. But on the connect side, which is very much about, what today is about, it's all about seamlessly connecting businesses with their customers through cloud-based contact center and communication solutions. And we, try and turn those companies into connected communities with their employees and with their customers. I'm really pleased to be joined today by Nick Stanich from 8x8. And the key thing here is that 8x8 are all about transforming the future of contact centers and the future of business communications, be it through voice, video, chat, etc., etc. And if you look at the way the world's moving, more and more organizations are realizing that their technology for enterprise comms and contact center is no longer effective for meeting business continuity needs and is kind of falling short in that space. And this whole piece around modernizing the communication platform within organizations can significantly improve the overall employee experience, the overall customer experience, reduce friction, and give you that richer, more reliable experience across your contact center. And of course, in the current climate, work from everywhere has become a top of mind board level initiative and a key element for every business's resilient strategy. So what we'll be covering today is, how can a cloud-based contact center help you with all those challenges? How can it make sure that your customers and colleagues get that rich and frictionless and seamless experience, regardless of where they are? And some of the tools and integrations and analytics that can help you along the way. We're scheduled to finish around 10:40 a.m. If you do wish to ask questions, then you'll see a hand icon in the bottom left-hand corner. So you can press that icon to get our attention. But also we'll be having a Q&A session when we do get through the content. So you can direct any questions through to Mohammed via the private message, which you can see that little chat button at the bottom as well. The webinar is being recorded, so you will have the opportunity to watch it again, and it'll be sent to you afterwards. I'll now hand over to Nick from 8x8, who's going to lead us through the main section of the morning.
Thank you, Rob. Hi, everyone. So essentially, we are here to talk about the cloud contact center and the remote working, as well as the remote management or remote supervising of the agents. I'll show you what 8x8 has in stock for that, and I'll show you around specifically the contact center part of the 8x8 licensing model. So if I bring up the first page, I will share that. You should be seeing that on the screen now. So the application panel that you're seeing on the screen is the first level of access for contact center application from 8x8. We are a completely cloud-based contact center. It is made in 8x8 by 8x8, so it's not reselling any other vendors as part of that. And once you log in to a application panel through your browser, which can be used on pretty much any device that will have a breakout to the internet or supports a web browser. So even if you were doing this on the phone, on a smart device, or iPad, iPhone, whatever that might be, or a computer, you can still log in as an agent or a supervisor or the administrator. You will have all of your applications lined out here as that you have access to as a role that you're doing in the business. So if you're an agent, you will have a virtual office online and virtual contact center agent interface. Supervisors will have the analytics and speech analytics, and administrators will have a contact center configuration manager. We'll be touching on the contact center agent analytics and speech analytics today. The configuration manager is a session for itself. So for the administrators and more technical staff on the call, we can essentially go through it at another session. First of all, if we open up an agent interface for 8x8 or virtual contact center, you will see a clear divide in the screen. On the right-hand side, we will have a CRM that's provided by 8x8. And then on the left-hand side, we will have an interaction panel. Now, the interaction panel is a multi-channel platform. So basically, the whole contact center is an omni-channel contact center, which basically means that we support multiple media types and that we support multiple media channels. What that means in practice, well, basically, you have a voice channel, so you can receive phone calls, you can make phone calls, you can have callbacks, voicemail queues, all kinds of different capabilities around voice. We will have a text channel or text media channel, which will basically allow you to have a web chat from your website going directly into this interface. Integrations with social medias like Facebook, Twitter, maybe SMS, bi-directional SMS as well. And you will have an email interaction panel as well. With the CRM on the right-hand side, there are a couple of things I'd like to talk to you about. So first of all, you will have a CRM in cases where you don't have a CRM that you want to integrate with, or you are in need of CRM. You can use 8x8 and comes as part of the license. If you do have a CRM, such as Salesforce, Zendesk, NetSuite, Microsoft Dynamics, really any of the 27 different platforms that we natively support, or even if you have a custom-built CRM or some CRM that's dedicated to a particular niche in the market, we do have APIs for integrations. The native integrations, however, come as out of the box and have certain capabilities. So on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see a CRM of your choice or the ones that you have already invested in. Now, from the remote perspective, everything is cloud-based, as I mentioned before. So important part to the contact center is the presence. In the directory of your contact center and your unified communications provided by 8x8, you will have a presence screen, or the directory will have its presence status, and you will be able to see who's online, who's not online, who you can speak to, chat to, bring on the call, ask for help from, and so on and so forth. You will have their presence status on the left-hand side. Therefore, you know whether they are next to their machine or not. From the supervisory perspective, you can essentially monitor your contact center much like if you were in the same office as them. Usually in the contact centers, the supervisors are sitting next to the team that they are managing. So you have your wall boards on walls, you have your statistics, you have your team meetings, and so on. But with the 8x8 solution, you have everything in one screen here, where you can see exactly the queue management in real time, which SLAs we are filling out or we are breaching. So if you have a breach, you can get your notifications, alarms, and so on and so forth. You can also move to a last 30 minutes of the call of the day, or from the beginning of the day, and see how that performance looks like on per channel basis. Now, we also have campaign management, which the same statistics can be viewed for, as well as the agent management. Agent management has additional category of monitor, and we'll talk about it in a second. So first of all, you'll see all of your agents straight away, regardless of their geographical position. You will see their status, what status they are on, how long they've been on that status, how many interactions they received, are they on the phone right now, and so on. You can see in the last 30 minutes the amount of minutes that they've spent on a particular status. So through these colorful bars, you can see exactly how your agents are performing in a brief second. The beginning of the day will give you the percentages of exactly what sort of status they spent most of the time in during that day. Now, the special category here for the agent management is the monitor section. So you can actually click on the agents that you want to monitor, and you can start monitoring them from here. That means that regardless, again, of their geographical location, you will be able to see who they are on the phone to, and you can start monitoring that call or listening to that phone call. Once you are listening to that phone call, you can either join the call or barge in, or you can start the agent whisper, which basically means that you can speak to your agent without the customer hearing it. Okay. You can also chat to your agent from the same screen as a supervisor and maybe coach that agent through the phone call that he's having. Very quickly, from the reporting perspective, we have three different suites of reports that are available to the supervisor, and all of them are geographically agnostic. So essentially, you have three suites of reports to see the KPIs that you are after. They are platform analytics or 8x8 analytics for a contact center. They are customer experience or customer journey reports, and the speech analytics and quality management. We'll talk about that in a brief minute. So when we start with the platform analytics, when we talked about those dashboards and wallboards that you have displayed within the office, you can have the same ones in front of you. So you can create your own dashboards, whether they are agent dashboards, whether they are queue summaries, so you can see exactly what SLAs you're filling up, what performance your agents are, how is the performance of your agents looking. And you can customize these. So you can actually create each one of these specifically for what you need it to do and how it's going to look like. So you can move around the pages. You can essentially create a completely different supervisory board for each one of the supervisors. So obviously each supervisor will have their preference on how they want to see the statistics. I will cancel these. And you can create multiple dashboards, and as a matter of fact, you don't have actual limit of how many dashboards you can have. You can also share those. So if you had a wallboard that you wanted to share with your supervisors, maybe with your agents, with whoever, you can essentially click on the link and send them the dashboards that when they click on will get this screen here, and we'll be able to see exactly what you've created and what statistics you want them to see. So that makes a remote management of the agents quite easy, or supervisory functions. We also have historical reports behind the call summaries, which are summarized by the agent, by the date, by the department, by whatever that might be. Okay. You are also free to create custom reports, as you can see on the left-hand side. And once you have the custom reports, again, you're adding that personalized report that you wish to see and have only the statistics that the supervisor wants. From the customer experience perspective, it's a very different type of reporting. It's reporting from the customer side, and it's not necessarily given for, it's not necessarily the platform for KPIs or measuring the performance of the agents, but it is a way of seeing how efficient your contact center is in terms of either IVRs, agent interactions, customer interactions, and so on. So it consists of four different reports here. First report is the lowest level of reporting, or the most detailed level of reporting. And you can see here that we have a vast spectrum of options for what we want to select as a criteria, right? So once we select the criteria, so for example, I can say, I want to see only the calls that were put on hold 2 times or more. Okay, in this filter that I have filtered down here, I have all of the history of all of the calls that I have received and that were transferred 2 times or more. So transferring is not something that my contact center wants to be doing. It's not something we are aspiring, and 2 times or more transferring is viewed as a bad behavior of the agent, or the efficiency is low of that queue. So I can essentially filter all those calls, see exactly who the caller were, who the agents were, and who hung up the call. When I click on each one of these calls, I can see exactly, piece by piece, what happened to the phone call. So I can see exactly what welcome message did they hear, how long did they wait in the queue before forwarded, what agent did they speak to first. After 10.3 seconds, they were transferred to another queue. What agent from that queue got connected, and so on and so forth. And that goes for as long as the call goes. You can actually see what buttons the customers pressed during IVR, and so on. So really, really helpful for those complaints, for the calls, for bad or good experience, that your supervisors understand how the journey looks like and what we can do with that. Second report is a little bit of a higher level report, and it shows you the dominant paths. It shows you exactly the paths that your customers are using the most in order to reach your agents. So you can actually optimize your IVRs. Talking about IVRs, we have the interactive IVR report as well, which will essentially show you all of the interactions through your IVR, including those that were terminated within IVR. What does that mean? Well, if you take a look at this particular interaction, so we had 1,700 interactions across multiple channels, as you can see on the additional information that we got over the hover. Now we can follow the channels that we wish. It is this channel saying welcome message, or say welcome message. Basically, someone called my contact center. We heard the welcome message, or 181 people that called heard the welcome message. 129 of those, we found a customer checking their ANI. 35 went on a particular customer pick section, and so on and so forth. But then we have 4 people that hung up. Once they hung up, they never reached the agent, so we don't even know that they called. With 8x8, you can actually click on those, and you can see exactly which numbers called you, at what time, how long did they wait in the queue beforehand, and I can see exactly what happened with those phone calls and why did they hung up after that. On top of that, I can call them straight back. Final report in the customer journey report section is a customer surveys or post-call survey reports. So you have 2 subcategories of reports there. You have the summary of the post-call surveys, which is the summary by question. You can see exactly how many people opted in, how many people filled out the questionnaire, and what their responses were in the detailed responses part of the report. So you can see that Costas here responded 5 with the customer satisfaction, 1 to net promoter score, 3 to first call resolution, sorry. And number 4, our question says, why do you feel the way you do in terms of the feedback to our agents? So you can leave the comment, and essentially we can play it from here. You can download that file and understand what the customer's comments were. Final section around the reporting and 8x8 capabilities within contact center is the quality management in speech analytics. For those on the call that never dealt with speech analytics, what they are is the ability to record all the calls, transcribe them, analyze the call content based on that transcription, and categorize it into particular topics or categories. What you're seeing on the screen are categories, and you will have a customer experience, communication barriers, churn and retention, so on and so forth. So if we take churn and retention, for example, you can see it on the left-hand side on the speech analytics. All of these are included in our X8 license or are available as bolt-ons to X6 and X7. But essentially, you will be able to manipulate these categories just as you wish or as per need. So they come blank or can come with standard categories in there, but you can essentially create a new topic, new category, new phrases. So the churn and retention will have agent save strategies, which is the retention part, and the caller cancellation request, which is the churn part. So if I felt like there was another category in that, or another topic rather, that I wanted to add to that category, I can. And I can do that by clicking edit. Just add the particular category there, or say edit here and change the phrases that I'm looking for. Talking about phrases, caller cancellation request has 63 phrases that we are looking for. So we are looking for words like canceling, discontinuing, stopping. I'm calling to discontinue, cancel it all, end my business, and so on and so forth. So basically, 63 ways of saying, I don't want to do business with you anymore, right? That is categorized as churn. We want to see all of those interactions. I can essentially go to interactions, see that I have about 3,500 calls there, and I can see every single interaction for that phone call. If I click on any of those, I will get the average emotion of the call on the right-hand side, and most importantly, I will get a full description of that conversation. Who said what? So I will have the customer, the agent, and I will have a little search bar at the top right-hand side where I can search for particular words. Now, I have the caller cancellation request tag here. So if I click on it, I will understand why this was categorized as caller cancellation request. Well, it's classified as that because it says clearly, I want to cancel, right? And if I click on I want to cancel, it will take me straight to the point in the call where that word was mentioned. So I can play it from here and hear a full conversation, what that conversation was all about. I can also leave the notes for my supervisors or compliance officers. I can snippet the part of the conversation I want to send to my supervisor. I can also share and download this interaction. If I'm sharing this interaction, I can password protect it, set the expiration date, and send it to the customer. Finally, we have a screen recording. Screen recording of the agent can be used in training purposes. So essentially, for the remote supervisors, this is a very helpful tool of understanding the efficiency of their agents, why some agents are raising the tickets in 2 minutes when others are taking 30 seconds, and so on and so forth. But you can see here, if I play this, you will see exactly what the agent was doing while on the phone call to the customer. Okay. From the live management and remote management perspective, we also have the ability to monitor all agent screens as part of the quality management platform. So you can see at any point what your agents are doing. And again, that is with the accent on the remote management and having even more insight to what your agents are doing from home than you would have from the office. So really, a selection of reports is still available. All the APIs are available here for either transcriptions of the calls, sending the interactions, call recordings, whatever that might be. And essentially, the full platform is available to you with a single 8x8 license. I will wrap up with that, and hopefully we have enough time for about 10 minutes to cover some of the questions that you guys might have, or something that I can show you that you would like to talk about more.
Thank you, Nick. Really appreciate that. So as Nick said, we'll now open up the floor for any questions. You can feel free to raise your hand or ask questions via the live chat, or if you want to just send questions into Mo, then that's fine as well. A couple, Nick. So first one is, do you need to provide a PBX, or what telephony system does this need? Can it work on our existing systems?
Sure. So Virtual Contact Center is made as a overlay platform. So essentially, it shows it's a platform that can be overlaid over any PBX that is already existing. So even if you had agents on your mobile phones, where your agents have maybe poor bandwidth at home, they can still use their BT phone or a mobile phone and still receive the phone calls, and you will still have the benefits of the recording, reporting of those calls, management of those calls, and management of that user. In addition to that, if you don't have a PBX, or you're out of contract with your existing PBX, the X8 licenses come with a unified communications part of the platform, which basically enables you to have a PBX underlying the contact center, and that's where the full integration with the presence, as you saw at the beginning of the presentation, comes into play. So yes, we can either provide the PBX for you, or you can overlay your existing one already.
Great, thank you, Nick. And then the only other question I can see at the moment is, what about security? Is the traffic encrypted?
Absolutely. So all our traffic with 8x8 is fully encrypted at rest and in transit. We are taking security very seriously at 8x8. We have some of the clients that are very security conscious, like the federal government, like the UK local governments, legal aids, Department of Defense, Department of Justice, so on and so forth. So sorry, Ministry of Justice. And yes, we have a set of certifications that we oblige to every year, starting with FISMA, ISO 27001, HIPAA, and so on and so forth. So in answer to your question, yes, everything's encrypted, and we provide, or we aim to provide, a very, very secure platform, one of the market leading in security.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Nick. There's no more questions I can see at the moment. But what I will say to everyone who's on the call, firstly, thank you very much for attending this morning. Really appreciate it. We will hang around for a few more minutes until 20 to 11 if you do have any further questions. Otherwise, I thank you for joining us this morning and wish you a great rest of the day. Thank you.